Good morning, students. Today we are going to learn about the chapter number 8, standard 9, which is motion. Okay, so what is mean by a motion? Let me introduce you about the motion. Suppose an object is lying over here at position A. Fine. The object is moves from position A to position B with respect to some time or with respect to some reference. So we can say that the object is in motion. Okay, so this is called when an object changes its position from one place to second place or one place to another place. We can say that the object is in motion. Okay, so motion is dealing with your speed, your velocity, whatever you are observing in day-to-day life. So in this chapter, the chapter is thoroughly divided into three portions: the first portion, the second portion, and the third portion. Okay, so in the third portion, what happened? The third portion is dealing with the only equations of the motion. Means this is totally mathematical portion. The first equation, the second equation of the motion, and the third equation of the motion. And in the first portion, you have to understand some basic terms. Okay, or in second portion, you have to learn about the various types of motion, how motions will be described, what is acceleration, what is velocity, what is motion. Okay, so first of all, try to understand with the initial basic terms. So shall we start over here? Fine. See, here the first term is rest. Okay, so all you are aware about the rest. What is rest? When a body, suppose a body is here, the body is lying here till the 7 years, 5 years, till the 10 minutes. Means in the 10 minutes the body is not showing any kind of movement or any kind of displacement from this one position to the second position. Okay, this body is not showing any kind of movement. So when a body is not changing its position with respect to some time or with respect to this reference point, so we can say that the body is in rest condition. Understood? When a body, this body is not showing any kind of movement with respect to some reference point, we can say that the body is in rest position. Fine. So this is the definition of rest. Understood? Second term, which is motion. When, I already told you, when a body from A point to B point moves within some time or within some reference point. Okay, so we can say that the body is in motion. Means when a body is changing its position from first place to another place. Okay, so we can say that the body is in motion. Now suppose you are walking on a road, you are walking on a straight road from point A to point B. Okay, this is your final position. So you are in motion. Okay, so these motions are three types: circulatory, linear, and oscillatory. Now understand each and every individually. Suppose you are walking on a straight road, continuously you are walking from here in your last position. So you are moving in a straight path. So this kind of motion is called linear motion. So linear motion happens in only in straight path. Okay. Second one is the circulatory motion. So what is? Suppose you are traveling or you are walking on a circular path here, from here, here, and complete one revolution. So when you are moving in a circular path, the motion is called circular motion. Fine. And the third one is oscillatory motion. What is oscillatory motion? So you all are about the pendulum watch. Okay, the bob is there. So the bob moves from here maximum to here maximum. Understood? Means the bob is, this is the reference point, this is the fine, from the reference point to either direction or either direction. So this movement is called oscillatory motion. Means to fro path with respect to origin. This is the origin. Okay, from here origin it will show to motion and fro motion. So this motion is called oscillatory motion. Understood? Now you have to understand a basic another two terms. Okay, so these are called scalar quantities and vector quantities. Okay, scalar quantities and vector quantities. Understood? Scalar and vector. So first of all, understood about the scalar quantity. What is scalar quantity? See, suppose you have a weight of 50 kg. Okay, so to indicate 50 kg, you do not require any direction. Means you are not saying that my weight is 50 kg in east direction, my weight is 60 kg in west direction. So those quantities are represented by only magnitude. Magnitude means value. Okay, so the quantities which required only magnitude or value to describe itself, these quantities are called scalar quantities. Understood? Means those quantity are represented by only value. Means you have a weight of 50 kg, you have a Pepsi bottle of 1 liter. Okay, so you don't indicate 1 liter in east direction Pepsi bottle, 1 liter Pepsi bottle in west direction. So the quantities in which you do not require direction to indicate, these quantities are called scalar quantities. Understood? Now what is the vector quantities? See, in vector happens, you required magnitude. I already told you magnitude means value, and second one is direction. So the quantities which are represented by magnitude as well as direction, the quantities are called vector quantities. Means suppose you are going from your home to school, so you know you require both the things. Means how much your school is far, for example 10 km, and which direction you have to go, because for going to the school you also require the direction. Your school is situated in east direction, so you have to go 10 km in east direction. Understood? So in this case the direction as well as the value both required. Okay, so these quantities are called vector quantities. Understood? So here are some examples related to scalar quantities and vector quantities. So see, so the physical quantity which only magnitude but no direction, means in this case only value is required, these are called scalar quantities. For example distance, okay, speed is not there. And the what is a vector? So vector quantities are those quantities which require both, understood, magnitude as well as direction. For example velocity, okay, and displacement. These quantities are called vector quantities. Fine. Now our next term is to differentiate between distance and displacement. What is distance and what is displacement? Okay, so try to understand it. See, for example you are standing over here from position A and position B, position A to B, and the distance between position A to B is 100 meter. Okay, and you are returning from point B to C here somewhat, so this distance is 30 meter. Understood? So automatically this distance is 70 meter. Fine. Now differentiate between distance and displacement. Distance, see, distance means total path traveled. Try to understand. Huh? In this case what happened? A person is going from A to B, means 100 meter, total 100 meter, and from B to C also, means the person had traveled 100 plus 30. So the person has traveled total 130 meter distance. Understood? So this is called distance, means the total path traveled by an observer or an object, it is called distance. Understood? This is called distance. Now understood about the displacement. The second terminology is displacement. Understood? This point A and this is the B. The total distance is 100 and a person moves from A to B and return to C. Okay, over here this is 30 and automatically this is 70. Understood? See, in this case what happened? I am just dealing with the initial position and the final position. This is the initial. Initial means starting position, and this is the final position. See, so in displacement you are just dealing with only the whenever the object is at start and whenever the object is at end. You are only dealing with the initial means starting position and the final position, means in this case the total displacement done by an object is only 70 meter, whether it had traveled 100 total and 30 here, but you are dealing with the only initial position and final position. That's why the total distance displacement done by an object is 70 meter only. Understood? Clear? Okay. So move forward. Okay. So see, the actual path traveled by an object during the journey from its initial position to final position is called distance. Means in this case actual path means total path, that is 130 na. But what is displacement? So move here. So displacement is a vector quantity. Why? Because it requiring magnitude value, that is 70, and direction also, whether you are at initially you are at A and finally you are at C. It is dealing with the only initial position and final position. Understood? Okay. Now here are some difference are given between distance and displacement. Try to understand. Okay. See, length of actual path means actual path is what, 130 na. Traveled by an object is called distance, and the shortest length between initial point and final point means between A to C, which is 70, that is called displacement. This is a scalar quantity, this is a vector quantity, because these quantities required two things, magnitude and direction both. Understood? Now the distance is always positive, means you are traveling na, 100, then 30 will add, then 20 will add, then 150 will add. Okay, so this can be positive always, but this can be positive or maybe negative or maybe 0. For example, how to 0? Suppose you are starting from A to B, you went to A to B and come to again A. So what is your initial position? This. What is your final position? This. Means the total displacement done by you is 0 na. So displacement is 0 also. Now next, distance can be equal to displacement, means suppose you are traveling from A to B, which is 100. So suppose a person travel from A to B only, so in this case the distance is also 100 and displacement is also 100, because the initial and final position are same. But displacement can be equal to distance or less than, because in the previous case the distance is 130 but the displacement is 70, means the distance can be equal to displacement, but displacement can be equal to or less than. Okay, understood? So first lecture is done. This is the part 1. I hope you understood it well.